Today we're going to be looking at a car that resembles a box. Some of you might have seen my other videos. I am a big fan of the boxy car style. I'm a big fan of the Honda Element. But there is another car that I really like, and that is the Scion XB. So as everyone must know by now, Scion is really Toyota. Toyota also owns Lexus, which is their luxury brand. The Scion XB started out as the Toyota BB in Japan, only slightly different than the current XB, but it uses the same engine and platform that the Toyota Echo and the Yaris use. And when you know Toyota Echoes, you know that these cars can last for 300,000 miles and never give you any problems. There's two generations to the Scion XB. There's the first and then there's the second. Now everybody loves the first one. In a time when every manufacturer is making smooth, rounded cars, Toyota put its balls on the line and made a square and gave it really hard edges. Something I've never seen. Even the Honda Element has softer edges than this one. So this thing just put its edges on the line and didn't care if you liked it or not. And people loved it. People really loved this car. The Scion XB has a couple colors that are almost collector items. There's the hot lava orange, the solar yellow, and the envy green, where only about 20-something hundred units were made. Also really interesting to note is that Car and Driver magazine rated the 2008 XB as one of the top 10 safe vehicles under $25,000. That's saying a lot for a tiny vehicle. It is very much becoming a collector's car, and it holds its value fairly well. No, it doesn't hold its value as well as a Honda Element, but it's still one of the king box cars. I'm not going to compare the Element to the Scion XB because they're very different vehicles. The Element is more of an SUV and the XB is a car, and they have very different functions. You know, I don't really think if you pulled up with a Scion XB to like a car enthusiast meeting or Cars and Coffee that you would get a lot of feedback, because I don't think regular car guys are not attracted to this style. This is a very different type of car enthusiast that likes this. On one hand, you have the people who want a reliable car for commuting and for carrying things around. Then you have the other type of person that's drawn to this car for the ability of modifying it and making this car their own. The first generation of the XB ran from 2003 to 2006. Less popular second generation ran from 2007 to 2015, so quite a long run on the Scion. The XB tells people that you don't need a car to have sexy curves to be cool. The XB is cool, just the same way as the Honda Element is cool. It's a very fascinating design. They're fun, cheap, and pretty much basic in every single way. But you can modify the hell out of these cars. The aftermarket is strong with this one. It's rational and smart, and you can convince your wife that this could be the perfect car for the entire family. It's a family car, but also extremely fun to drive. The Peppy Engine from Toyota just delivers the power effortlessly. You know, the interesting part about the XB, in Japan they had it a little bit earlier, but they had this really cool version which was basically a truck. Much like a little Honda Ruckus, the Scion XB is perfect for people who like to modify the cars. If you look up Scion XB modifications, you'll see tons of great modifications people have done to their cars. And there's nothing cooler than taking a cheap car and making it better by changing it to suit your personality. I would never do that because I'm cheap, but if you want to do it, you should. Even with its Peppy engine, this car still gets 30 miles to the gallon. And of course, if you get a 5-speed manual transmission, you can probably get even better mileage. But this car is a fun car that's efficient, and it looks like a box. Now compare that to the Honda Element that gets 20 miles to the gallon, and you can see why some people who love boxes might want the Scion XB instead. The next generation Scion XB gained about 600 pounds and of course lost its good square looks, which is something that drew a lot of people into the first generation XB, was the squareness of the car. It was odd, and the second gen basically removed the edge of the car. I'm going to continue my search for a Scion XB with low miles and a 5-speed transmission, and I think I'd probably be pretty happy with that after selling my Honda Element. I think it's a good camping car, good car for all around driving, commuting, family sort of stuff, evading the LAPD, carrying like refrigerators. Really good car. It is a car that probably will hold its value over time. And of course, since it's a Toyota, it's also going to be really reliable for keeping in the long run. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one.